Well, it's ninth win for India on the trot. Just like all the fans thought that we'll wrap this up soon today, the match will get over soon. But Rohit said, no, let me have some fun. There are a lot of people who've left Diwali and come to the stadium, so he wanted to have fun. But India won by 160 runs. Bumrah getting 2 wickets, Kuldeep getting 2, Siraj getting 2. We are back at Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher. I have DK and Simon with me. Well, I must say that Rohit was having a lot of fun. I don't know if we are going to be able to show that big bowling card that India had today because everyone bowled besides the 2 centurions, Simon. They just were there having fun today.
I don't think there's enough room. I don't think there's enough room on the bowling card. Look, I mean, I get it to some point, and I think we talked about in the com box that just in case someone falls over in that semi-final and they've only got 5 bowlers, he might have tried to get a couple of overs out of a few players just to see who might perform the best in a situation where India were always going to win. There was no issue with it. So, as I say, in this instance, I'll forgive him because I think it's something that maybe he feels might be required at a time in a semi-final. If it happens, it happens. But dominant again from India. And I think they just tried to enjoy a few of the celebrations that everybody else around the country is enjoying at the moment.
But DK, both Rohit, you were saying it as soon as Rohit came on to bowl, you said, well, I wish Rohit gets a wicket. He heard your wish, and Virat getting a wicket as well. So Surya, Gill, Rohit, Virat, it's just so much fun for fans to see Rohit having this fun in the ground.
True. I think a lot of the fans who had come today would have wanted to see a good batting performance, and they got that. And to add the cherry on top was Virat and Rohit picking up a couple of wickets. So it was good. I guess, Diwali day, everybody celebrating. Why not?
We'll have a look at the bowling card. I'd like to see the number of bowlers used. Wow, that's a long, long list. But Simon, you spoke about it in the com box. You really like to see batters bowl as well. They all came and bowled. They all had their fun. But didn't you think Rohit would want to wrap things up a little earlier and get Siraj and get Jadeja and Kuldeep, finish them off sooner?
Yeah, look, I just think Virat took a wicket, so he thought, why shouldn't I get one as well? As I say, I don't mind it. It was a game they're always going to win, and playing up to the crowd a little bit, all those sorts of things. There are a lot of people celebrating around the country at the moment. There's a lot of people turned up to enjoy the night, enjoy the occasion, enjoy the game. They saw a brilliant batting performance. They would have gone home happily anyway, but then they go home almost twice as happy when Virat and Rohit get a wicket themselves. So. Yeah, look, have a bit of fun. And it's probably not a bad thing either, leading into that semi-final where it is now, as of tomorrow, it is going to be business.
Yes.
They are going to have to be on the money, training-wise, skills-wise, everything. They're going to have to be right back up to speed. So have a little bit of fun, enjoy it, because sometimes we can all take things a little bit too seriously. So, allow them a little bit of that leeway, I think, and just... The crowd would have loved it. Everyone would have enjoyed it. And they'll all be having a laugh in the change room.
Yes.
I would imagine right now as well.
But, like jokes aside and fun aside, as that serious cricket fan, serious Indian fan, good to see Jadeja and Kuldeep both in the flow. But besides Jadeja, Kuldeep, do you think they should have just been a little more careful in the field? 2 drop catches, we're not used to seeing them in the field like that.
It was a very rusty performance, to put it very softly. But as I said, if at all there was a game to do such things, I think today was the day. It's good to see Bumrah going about his business beautifully. Kuldeep Yadav was the best bowler today. Ravindra Jadeja chipped in with a couple of wickets. But Siraj and Shami not at their best, understandably so. Siraj not great on the field as well. But it's just one of those days, you're not completely switched on. I wouldn't read too much into it. It's a game that they know has little meaning. The more like, they need to play it. But as Simon says, I think tomorrow is when they'll start switching on because come day after, they have a practice session and then the big one post that. So that's what they'll be focusing on.
Well, there was Gill, there was Rohit, there's Virat, there's Surya. Am I missing on anyone else? So we've got all these boys coming and bowling, and these were very cool moments in the day. But let's see what the coolest moment of the match powered by Voltas AC and Voltas Beko refrigerator is. Our fans have written in and told us which their cool moments are. This is what Darshan has to say. Mohammad Siraj's magic. No answer to Beresi. My vote for the coolest moment. Next up, we've got Mayank who says 6 to get to that century. Rahul, naam to suna hoga. Coolest moment. Next up, we have wicket for King Kohli in Bengaluru. Wow, can't get bigger than this. Coolest moment. Well, these were some of the fans who've written in and told us, but we at Cricbuzz Live also agree with Mayank. We think that six that Rahul hit to get to his century was the coolest moment of the match, presented by Voltas AC and Voltas Beko refrigerator. DK, it's just so cool, right? You come to your house, your home ground, you come and get that six, you come and get that century when not too many people were expecting it. Like Simon said, he might get it, but it was an uphill task, but he managed.
Absolutely. He batted beautifully today. You wouldn't get the feeling halfway through his innings that he could have got 100, but it was pretty cool what he did today. Just the way he went about things, and the last shot to bring it up was brilliant as well. Just the kind of shot that you want to see from a player in form.
Well, Rahul has really turned on the heat at the Chinnaswamy, while Voltas AC and Beko refrigerators have kept it nice and cool and chilly for us in the studios here. But Simon, a little more on his innings. You spoke about how he's been so good behind the stumps as well. So I think just confidence that comes into a player when you're doing well on the field. It shows with your bat, and overall he must be feeling good.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, DK can talk a little bit better about wicket-keeping than me. My back was too long and my legs are way too long to be doing that sort of thing. But I've been really impressed, and I don't think that's anything that's been talked about quite enough. When you're not talking about the wicketkeeper, he's generally doing a really good job because they're the ones that get all the blame for things when it's not going right. But it couples that with his batting, and when he sort of feels comfortable and confident, obviously things off the park are now really nice and settled for him. He's put a bit of that other stuff behind him, the sort of keeping quiet, all that sort of thing. I think he's just put that behind him, and his job with the gloves has been really, really good throughout this tournament. Catches, even when it's not a wicket opportunity, he's gloving the ball really nicely from what I can see in my limited knowledge. And it just transfers to the batting side of things as well. Again, feels comfortable in and around that environment, in that team, one of the senior players, one of the leaders. And to me, all of those things come together to make that guy just a real integral part of this Indian lineup. I thought he batted superbly today. It was really good. And from the time he sort of got to maybe 20, 25, he really put the foot down and was determined to just find the boundaries, do whatever he could to make sure that team got near that 350, 400 mark. And, the bonus, the cherry, is the 100. And the way he brought it up was spectacular. But he did so much hard work before that. So, yeah, again, a terrific day for him. And another good day. I mean, that catch off Virat's bowling was a filthy delivery. I mean, it was an awful delivery. It should have been that far wide to get a little edge on it. It was a terrific catch. I mean, you could talk how difficult that is.
It is a very difficult catch because A, it was down the leg. B, the batter covered a lot of what his vision could have been, and most importantly, he got a pretty thick edge, which would mean the deflection was there, but still he got it just at the palm of his left hand, and it just stuck. And because his hands were in such good position, he managed to glove it beautifully without wobbling or without the ball dropping, without having another attempt or second attempt at it, which tells me that he is been terrific as a keeper, not only this game, but throughout the World Cup. And as Simon rightly says, if you speak less about the keeper, it tells you that he's done a very good job. That's generally the thumb rule with which you go by. And I have to say, along with Scott Edwards, KL Rahul has probably been the best keeper in this World Cup. And that is not something that you can expect from KL Rahul at the start of the tournament, because he's known for his batting. He was just a backup keeper, but he's kept wonderfully well. As I don't think any bowler will complain at all during this time that they've had it tough at times. I think his keeping has been outstanding, and it's shown in his batting as well. When the big moments have come, he stood up, and that's the sign of a quality player.
But Simon, DK, is there pressure to play at home, or do you feel like it just feels nice to go back and play, DK? It's his home ground. So do you feel that pressure of, oh, these are my fans, these are my people, or you just go out after all these years of experience is just playing another game?
I think with the advent of IPL, this home ground concept is, is something that you get used to, because you end up playing in franchises, other places, and when you come to your home ground, it's like, it's home, you feel it, and you can, literally... you know what it feels like to play there, but it's something that you don't give too much relevance to unless you're playing for the country. So today becomes a very special occasion. He plays for India, and he's playing at his real home ground, Bangalore. So it would have been quite a cool moment, so to say, because A, the weather was really cool, but B, most importantly, I think it's nice to come and get 100 in front of your family, and I'm sure all of them are watching. He's a local boy there. He lives in Mangalore, which is where he's from, but it was good to see KL Rahul go about his job in a clinical manner.
Well, that was the coolest moment of the day, powered by Voltas AC and Voltas refrigerator. We hope Rahul keeps performing and giving us cool performances like this. Let's have a look at what Netherlands did today, because they kind of kept the innings going. They stood strong, stood steady, because the way India has been bowling, Simon, they stood there steady and went till like the 48th over.
Yeah, an early wicket again. Wesley Barassi's sort of coming into the side halfway through for Vikramjit Singh. Hasn't been a success at all. They've struggled all tournament with that opening combination, with getting enough runs from O'Dowd, from Singh in the first half of the tournament, from Barassi in the second half. So that's been a bit of a problem. Ackerman hasn't had the best of times either. He came into the tournament as a highly respected player, plays a lot of cricket in England, and performs very, very well. Probably hasn't had the tournament. The standout for me has been Sybrand Engelbrecht. Throughout the tournament in the field, from the time he started off batting at 7, they promoted him to 4, and he's generally got the job done. He's batted really well through the tournament for the Netherlands. So he's been probably their standout batter, and he's a gun fielder as well. So there's a lot to like about what Engelbrecht has done through the tournament, and Nidamanuru getting an opportunity again today and getting some runs. So he was another player they probably thought would have played all of the games at the start of the tournament, or had a chance to, but didn't get as many opportunities he would have wanted. But nice to see him amongst the runs today.
But DK, yes, there was all the fun with the part-timers coming and bowling, but we saw some of the batters kind of hit Kuldeep, hit Jadeja for those big sixes. So they will go home feeling proud, because 411 is a very tough task. It's always an uphill task, but they held their own today.
True. You get the feeling that when you're chasing 400, it's not going to be easy for a start, but B, you're going to need to play a lot of shots. But you got the feeling all they wanted to do was complete the 50 overs, just get out there, play a few shots when the moment arrives, and they did that. If you do see, they didn't keep up with the run rate much, but the phases where they got runs, they got good runs, 50, 54, 62, and in the last, they got a 60. So for me, when I looked at it, I thought there'll be personal takeaways from the likes of Engelbrecht, from the likes of Max O'Dowd at the start. I thought Tejan Nidamanuru towards the end, and you could see he's a good player of spin, can hit a 6. So some positives for them. Overall, if they do look at this tournament, they'll say, yes, it was good, but something, could they have done better? I believe so. But it's good to see Netherlands compete as a group.
Simon, again, I just would like to talk about how clinical India has been. I know it feels like a tape that's been stuck, but for Indian fans, the green, all of the green, 9 greens that we've got there in the right column, it just is such a wonderful feeling. Everything that they'd planned for the campaign has been executed.
Yeah, and it's the dominance of those wins. When you look through that list, 4-wicket win was the sort of the worst result probably in that whole table. It's been the dominance that they've won with, the assurity they've shown. I think the class and the quality is undeniable across that whole group. But to actually do it, game in, game out, and to win, to win convincingly on probably 8 of those 9 occasions, they were absolute hammerings. They were really, really convincing wins. And also, if you look through that whole team, everyone has had a performance, at least one. I mean, some have had more than one, but everyone through that whole squad and that whole team has had a really good performance, a dominant performance that helped win or was worthy of a Player of the Match award at some stage. So when you're heading into a semi-final, that is key. It really is such a bonus going into that semi-final when you know that there's not a weak link. There is nothing I look at in that Indian side and think, maybe we can expose someone here, or maybe we can look at this, we can target this bowler. There's no bowler to target unless it's really flat and not turning, and maybe you think you might be able to go at the spinners, but Jadeja's quite clever in that instance as well. So, I look right through that board and everyone has had a quality performance at least once. And there's no reason for India not to go into that semi-final with a bunch of confidence and really high on the energy and what they've done, and with a country of 1 billion behind them.
DK, if you had to pick from the 9, which would be the most comprehensive and probably your favorite win for India?
The first game, Australia. I thought that was the game they were really pushed. And at that moment, when KL Rahul and Virat Kohli took India home rather comfortably at the end, I thought it was a very good game, followed by the game against New Zealand. I think these were the 2 games where they really tested as a team. There were moments in that New Zealand game when things could have gone wrong. Yes, I think England's game was England's to lose. I mean, there was so much due. 220 was an easily attainable target, but their confidence was just absolutely shattered before that, and you could see the batting wasn't coming along. But I thought the first game was the game of the tournament for me when it comes from an Indian point of view. That set the tone, and after that, they didn't look back.
Well, let's have a look at the points table because India is sitting pretty at the top. They've not dropped a game at all with 18 points and all wins. So it's just all very good for Indian fans. Simon, if Netherlands had beaten India today, they could have qualified for the Champions Trophy, not meant to be, but Bangladesh qualifies for the Champions Trophy. So something there for Bangladesh to celebrate. But as an Indian fan, how lovely does that look?
Yeah, it looks magnificent, doesn't it? As we said, the margin of victory, the net run rate, so that shows you how big the victories have been throughout the tournament. I wasn't sure that a team could go through the round robin unbeaten. It's a tough ask to continually back up against good quality sides, but they have proven to be a cut above, pretty much above everyone else. And, you know, as I say, that's why they will have such confidence. They're playing with that confidence. They're playing with a smile on their faces. And that's why I think today was a good day for them, because it's a relaxing day. I mean, they've got so much, the build-up. Everyone wants a piece of, you know, the news channels, the sports channels. Everyone wants a piece of these guys in the next couple of days building up. Can you overcome this hoodoo you have in playoff games against New Zealand? Can you set the Wankhede Stadium alight? Can you do all these things? We've seen it in games through the round robin. Can you do it when it really matters, in front of fans, in front of the whole nation, and in a semi-final? Can you get it done? And that's what everyone will want to know over the next couple of days. So just to enjoy today, to have a little bit of fun, I think will actually do them quite a lot of good.
Well, DK, I want to ask you, because I asked Simon this in the com box, but if you had to pick your favorite bowler today from Gill, Surya, Rohit, Virat, who's it going to be?
Of those four. Of all the questions asked in Cricbuzz, I think that's the toughest one. Well,
Well, I'll tell you what Simon said. Simon was quite impressed with Surya. He thought his line and length was very good, and he felt that Gill needs to just practice a little more in the nets.
I believe Virat's, you know, they've been putting a lot of Virat statues of him batting, but I believe Virat's bowling, especially his finish, deserves a statue on its own. He's got quite the style. I've always felt that Rohit is a very talented bowler. It's just that he couldn't keep up with it. But he had skills as a bowler. A couple of hat-tricks in IPL. He is definitely the most skilled bowler among the ones who's bowled today.
Well, the only thing I feel proud about is that my action is like Virat Kohli, because I jump off the wrong foot as well. So I at least can be proud about that I have something in common with the great Virat Kohli. But, you know, that's what it is. We have to now move to talking about what we're all anticipating, all waiting, all very excited for, is India taking on New Zealand in the semi-final on the 15th, the first semi-final that takes place in Mumbai. And who better to talk about this? There's Simon in the house and there is DK in the house. So Simon, first you, because we are very welcoming to guests if they're not on the cricket field. So first you. New Zealand through to the semi-finals, but they had their hiccups going there. India has gone with flying colours. India has defeated New Zealand. But I'll say this a little softly. No Indian fan wants to remember what happened in 2019.
Well, no Indian fan wants to remember what's happened for the last 20 years in knockout matches, I suppose. But look, India go in as heavy favourites. They go in as the best team of the tournament. New Zealand, they just find a way. They find a way to fight back, to play as a team. They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to be at their absolute best. I think it's quite crucial from New Zealand's point of view that they bat first. So winning the toss is going to be, I think it's going to be quite crucial for either side. I think batting first, what we've seen at Wankhede Stadium is probably the best way to go. So from New Zealand's point of view, even more so, I think that is quite crucial. And in that situation, anything around that 300 mark is a target that they will feel that they can defend if they bowl brilliantly and put India under some pressure early. When we think about how New Zealand's way to beat India is to get a total on the board and then nip a couple out early. For Trent Boult to be back to his best, to have, you know, to feel better. They've fielded poorly. By New Zealand standards, this tournament they have fielded quite poorly with some dropped catches. Keepers, you know, Tom Latham hasn't been at his best. In the outfield, they've been a little bit sloppy at times, but they're still a chance. And you know, the round robin means nothing now. It means absolutely nothing, because the pressure of a semi-final, the pressure of a knockout is completely different to any pressure that you feel in a round robin situation. India go in with massive, you know, on a juggernaut basically, and New Zealand go in having their first win in their last 5 games.
Yes.
So, you know, India probably feel better, but just the pressure of these semi-finals can sometimes get to people and get to players. And that's what New Zealand will be praying for and hoping for. And I think that's probably what they will be talking about.
We'll have a look at New Zealand's squad, but DK, do you think they'll go with an unchanged team, considering Bolt came in, got that 3 wickets in the last game, and well, this is the 11 they will go with, right?
The last game, the 11 that they played, will definitely be the 11 that they go for. It looks like that's the kind of balance that they're looking for. Mark Chapman at 7 gives them a good batting option. Glenn Phillips at 6. They're definitely the biggest worry is Tom Latham. I cannot imagine an Indian cricketer to have gone through a World Cup like what Tom Latham has gone through. There have been plenty of questions asked, and that pretty much differentiates what New Zealand cricket is all about and what playing for India would mean. You're under the scanner so much when you play for Team India. And, you know, they're going to be heavily reliant on Kane Williamson at the bat because he always, in these big moments, has that calm head that can take them through. Rachin has been outstanding. Devon Conway has been good in parts. So they have a few worries. They have to nail certain things for them to get that game going for themselves. But it's a game where they will fancy themselves given the venue. If they were, it was played in a different venue. Conditions would have definitely probably suited India a lot more. In most of the other venues, Bombay is a place where they will say, you know what, it gives us the best chance to compete against Team India in this red hot form.
Well, let's have a look at Team India's squad. But Simon, obviously, you know, they've been playing with a very set 11. So we know who the 11 is going to be. No surprises there. Obviously, hoping that Siraj has not been injured too badly and everyone's fit and fine for the semi-final.
Yeah, providing nothing silly happens in the next couple of days and nobody picks up an injury at training or at the nets or anything along those lines, they will go with their tried and tested side that has been so successful. And why would they change anything? You know, again, runs for that top 5 today. Surya, he hasn't really had too many opportunities throughout the tournament, to be honest. And then the bowlers have just done exactly what they have done. Today's their worst performance, and it's still not a bad performance when you look at the conditions from India and that Netherlands game. So there's no reason to change anything. There's no reason for them to change the way they build up to the game. That sometimes takes over too. The build up to the game can change because you put pressure on the fact that it's a semi-final. You've got to try, as hard as it is, as a coaching group, as a management group, as a senior players group, to just treat it like another game. And if we continue to do what we've been doing throughout the tournament, we will be fine.
DK, you know the pressure. You know how it is playing a big World Cup. You know the pressure that the fans put on Team India. But Rohit, as a captain, seems like a cool cucumber. And you can just see the team and a squad very relaxed. But do you think that the pressure might get to Team India?
Pressure will be there. In the next 2 days, ideally they should probably just switch themselves off from social media, watch very little TV, and do anything other than obviously see all the news channels. What I would like them to do is definitely do what they've been doing for these 9 games. I know sometimes the mind will want to trick you into try and doing something different in a semi-final game, and that's the last thing you'd want to do. They've played a brand of cricket which the whole nation is proud of. 1.3 billion people watching the sport will say, this is the Team India that I want to see every day on the park. And that's the kind of impression they've left in us. It's one of those few World Cups where in case it just doesn't go their way, we will still turn back and say it was one bad day. This was the best team of the tournament. Irrespective of who's won this tournament, it's very hard to go through group stages, playing 9 games against top opposition, dominating each game. And I think a lot of credit must be given for that. Rohit Sharma is a great captain. He's led this team wonderfully well, and all his soldiers that he's marched on in this field have been nothing less than superlative. They've been phenomenal through this last 1 month that they've been together. It at least looks and feels like a complete team of family that's having fun together, and that is one of the nicest feelings and the warm feelings that you get when you see them, you know, having fun together has been brilliant. Come the November 15th, it's a big day, and I just feel they should just go out there and do everything possible and leave it out there on the field. And know one thing, I think the one thing that they need to know is the amount of love and affection that they have is second to none in this tournament. And that should be looked at as a fuel to do better, not as pressure to push them backwards. And that's the only thing that I as a fan would like them to see. And also know that if at all they end up losing this game, it should be by playing the way they've done, without changing nothing about what they've done in this last 1 month. That'll be my parting line on what India should do.
I love it when you sum it up so well and put it all together so well for us, DK and Simon, but your players to watch out for quickly.
Oh, well, I think DK hit the nail on the head for me. Kane Williamson, from New Zealand's point of view, big game, captain, back in the last couple of games. He's got all the experience, might be his last World Cup. He would love to make another final. So he would be my New Zealand player to watch out for. From an Indian point of view, Jasprit Bumrah. Get through that opening spell. Get through that opening spell from a batting point of view, and you put a little bit of pressure on the other bowlers. And I think that's the one thing New Zealand are going to have to do if they need success.
I think this game hinges a lot on what Rohit Sharma does. I believe he's the man that New Zealand will look to knock off early. And if he gets going, I think the game's going to be done and dusted right then and there. For New Zealand, ideally, I don't want to pick anybody, but since I have to, I'm going to... I think I'll have a close look at Devon Conway. He looks like the guy who in the big moments just has a cool head. I would have ideally gone for Kane Williamson as well, but I don't want to repeat what Simon said, so I'll look out for Conway.
Well, the true fan in DK has spoken, and like DK said in the pre-match show as well, we just do the nazar that Rachin's grandmother did for Team India as well. Simon, well, all Indian fans here, so that's how it is going to be. That's how it's going to be. We'll wait and watch the big game on the 15th, but now we have to quickly see what the answer to the joy factor question is, because I thought that I had the answer to it. So let's have a look at the question. Which one cricketer connects the test careers of Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, Mohammad Siraj, Kuldeep Yadav, and indirectly Rashid and Rachin? Any guesses? Wild guesses?
No, I saw the answer on Twitter, so it'll be unfair. It's one of your close friends. So.
I didn't actually know. I just thought maybe it was something to do with Rahul Dravid, but clearly not.
A very similar personality is all I'll say.
Oh, okay.
Well, Twitter has all the answers. We got a whole lot of answers today. The answers are Ajinkya Rahane. The Indians made their debut under his captaincy, while the others made their debut against India when he was the Test captain. And like we said, we had a whole lot of answers. Let's see who got it the quickest. Aryan has got it the quickest. Well done, Aryan. I don't know if it's Aryan Dutt because he was at the stadium, but Aryan 37, well done. And we'll save up all of Joyda's dance gigs and thumbs up for you when he's in the studio. But keep writing into us at Cricbuzz Live with the answers. DK, Simon, it was a wonderful evening. Spending Diwali with you all. India winning 24 games this year is what I've been told. We've never won so much in the calendar year. 9 games on the trot. So all things good for Indian fans, isn't it? But DK, I know you have an early morning flight. And Simon, what plans for the next 2 days?
I'm going to celebrate Diwali tomorrow night at Mr. Shastri's house.
Wow.
So I look forward to that. And this is my last time. So I just want to say a huge thank you to all the Cricbuzz fans, supporters. I get stopped more often by Cricbuzz supporters and fans than anyone else in India. They love the show. They love everybody that does it. And the whole team here do an amazing job. So, yeah, I'll be back hopefully, if they'll have me back.
But Simon, we will remember you a lot when India take on New Zealand. You will be here with us. So we will...
In spirit.
In spirit. You will be here with us in spirit because we'll remember you a lot. DK, we hope to see you very soon. Thank you very much for making this Diwali so special. So we're going to let you go celebrate. We're going to let DK go sleep. And we're going to let everyone go and celebrate Diwali because it's Diwali day and India's made us happy. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the 15th of November when India take on New Zealand. Good night and goodbye.